Michelle, why did you write that book? What were you thinking about when you wrote that book?
I decided to take the time to take you on a tour of all my books. Welcome to Book Talk.
Well, I'm going to share my opening note from this book, because I think that it helps you understand the direction that I was going in. Relationships between men and women, both platonic and romantic, are in trouble. It's as if the actors in the play of love have forgotten their lines and staging directions. What was supposed to be a classic romance has turned into a tragedy, with all of the players doing nothing more than stepping on one another's toes and limping off stage to their respective dressing rooms. The audience is left confused, while the actors themselves are befuddled as to what really happened. The popular theater line, "There are no small parts, only small actors," seems appropriate here. Men and women are different, and we were created so deliberately by God. Yet present-day moral issues of the fight for equal rights have left most men and women confused about who they are, where they fit, and what they mean to one another. Women have felt devalued and powerless. This causes them to embrace the modern-day opinion that they must operate by male standards in order to gain respect in the world. The real tragedy is that the transition back to being a soft woman after leaving the hardness of the boardroom becomes more and more difficult. It is safe to say many have lost their way back to femininity. Oh, the backlash this creates in male-female relationships, the anxiety it causes in the spirits of the women who can't quite put their finger on what's wrong, is truly overwhelming. The power of being a woman is a journey back to the basics to reclaim the pieces of self that countless women have lost in the struggle to validate their own sense of worth. Through biblical insights in light of modern-day illustrations, God's original design for a woman will be explored, thus supplying a map back to the garden, so to speak. It is my prayer that this book will liberate, heal, and release women to celebrate who they were created to be and discover the true source of their value and power. Value and power. We are powerful, and that's why I settled into the title that I did. But from there, I literally take you on a journey from beginning to end, starting in the garden, really challenging us to embrace who we are, our softness, our strength, our wisdom, our love, our power to nurture, all the things that we are. We are a treasured box of different things that add so much to the world. Some of the things that I talk about in the book are, first of all, who we are as women, the basics of that. What is God's design for women? Some people tend to think that God is down on women, but he actually isn't. I mean, when God says to a man that if he doesn't treat his wife properly, he won't answer his prayers, that lets me know the value in God's mind of women. He created us on purpose with a specific purpose in mind. Let us remember one very significant thing, that man and woman were present in the beginning, that he said he created them. Then he singled it down to the man. Adam was formed, but God knew that Adam needed Eve, that he needed a help meet. Now what that means is a perfect combination of a partner, the one who would be equipped to help Adam do what he had been commanded to do. There's power in that. You don't give somebody weak to somebody to help them. You give them someone who's strong, someone who has capacity to help that person across the finish line. No team recruits weak players to make them drop the ball and lose the race. No, you look for the strongest and the fittest to make the best combination to finish the job and win the game. And that is what God did. He designed man and woman to win the game together, meaning that woman was powerful in her own right and brought things that the man needed to the party of life in order for him to be able to function in the way he was designed to function. In the beginning, wisdom was called a woman. Wisdom was the architect assisting in the creation. So know and understand that woman has a very high place. It's highly regarded by God. What we do to one another, though, is another issue. And I cover that after talking about God's design of woman. Woman to woman, how do we deal with one another? The value that we place on one another then teaches men how to place value on us. And so it's critical for us to honor one another as women, to honor one another as sisters, to honor each other's power and help each other to win this thing called life. We can't afford to have a crab in a bucket syndrome when it comes to one another, because we teach the world how to regard us by how we treat one another. I talk about the power of motherhood. I hate to hear it when women say, I'm just a housewife. There is no such thing as just a housewife. Women raise nations. Women raise leaders. We give birth to greatness with our words, with our nurturing. We carry them for 9 months and we birth them into the world, and our influence is lasting and deep. It affects that person. Remember, a mother raised Mahatma Gandhi, but a mother also raised Hitler. What happened in the brokenness of his soul that created the person that he became? Mothers have a huge influence. I remember I was talking to Beyonce's mother recently, and she was talking about how she raised her daughters to believe that they could do anything, and look at the amazing women that they are. Her daughters are talented, and each of them is individual in their own craft and doing great and amazing things artistically in the world today. So when we think about the impact that a mother has on a child, I believe that my mother was that way. I never believed that there wasn't anything I couldn't do. And she was so feminine and so beautiful. And she made me want to be a girl. I mean, there was just a way that she carried herself, the way she ran our home, that influenced me greatly to become the woman I am today. My mother was really like the Proverbs 31 woman. She handled it all. She worked a 9 to 5 job. Our home was always sparkling. Everything was in place. Every hair was in place. She sewed and made all of our outfits. She baked, she cooked, she did it all. I don't know how she did it. Well, I do. She had a schedule. She had a ritual for herself, and it taught me how to order my world. So mothers have a major impact on children, daughters and sons. And so there's a great amount of power in being a mother. This one is huge. I talk about the power of influence. A lot of times we're so busy focusing on the submission issue and saying, well, why did God put it in that way and this and that? But let me tell you, just forget about that. Submission is a power tool. Submission puts you in the position to be blessed. When we submit to God, He blesses us. When we submit to our husband, what we're doing is we're teaming with Him, and we're empowering both of us together to win at life. So never look at submission as something passive. It is an aggressive decision to be a team player with your husband. What you need to know about submission is that there's an even greater power resident in the woman. It is called the power of influence. It's a God-given gift that God has given to us. In Africa, we say, man is the head, woman is the neck. Whichever way the neck turns, the head turns. That's influence, okay? I mean, think about it. God is the ultimate authority, and He has given us laws. And then break those laws. Why? Because the heart is influenced to do something else. So when we talk about influence, we have to understand that it is a very powerful gift that we need to learn how to use very carefully, because we can make or break a man. We can make or break a community, a city, a country, a nation by the things that we influence others to partake of. I also talk about something that's probably would make you a little squeamish, called the strength of vulnerability. Those two words don't even seem to go together, do they? But there's a place of vulnerability that really makes us strong. I think that sometimes we feel we have to flex external muscles to get things done. But when we solicit people to help and assist, we empower others to rise to the occasion. And there's great power in that, in empowering others. There's so many topics, they're all swimming in my head, but trust me that when you're finished with this one, you will feel powerful. You'll walk different, you'll talk different. I believe your posture are the intrinsic things about you that make you uniquely you, that are powerful and that resonate with others and help them to be who they need to become in life. And of course, I also talk about sex because we can never leave that out of any conversation, correct? But so many topics that I cover in this book that I think will bless you, strengthen you, empower you, and inspire you. And I'm going to end with this quote that's in my book. A woman who knows who she is a powerful tribute to femininity. So if you want to get your copy of Power of Being a Woman, log on to my website at michellehammond.com or go to amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, christianbooks.com. It's everywhere. You can get it in Kindle, and also we're working on the audio right now. So audiobook will be available soon. Watch us for an announcement on that. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media, Instagram and Twitter at McKinney Hammond, Facebook and YouTube at Michelle McKinney Hammond. And don't be selfish, share with a friend. It's all about the sisterhood. Power is women together. See you soon.